All right, I'm here with Bertram Williams, the actor who plays Wodie on the new hit series P-Valley. Hi, Bertram.
Hey, what's up, Ashley? How are you? Thank you for having me.
Good. I appreciate you so much for talking with me today. I'm so excited to get to know you a little bit and let some other people get to know you too, because I just know, and I know that you know that this is not the last time we're going to see you on TV.
I do know that, and I appreciate that vote of confidence. I do.
I'm excited. I appreciate you. So you mentioned it before, we went live. I got my setup back here. This was particularly for you because I think it's safe to say that you are the plant man.
Oh, no. Well, I do consider myself a plantsman, but I would in no way try to call myself the plant man. Yeah, I do. I'm admiring yours, though, because like I'm more of like an organic dude. I'm trying to explore and discover new ways to do some shit, and I'm still learning the aesthetics of it all. So I really appreciate what you got going on. That's
Okay,
really
so I,
impressive.
I can't take all the credit here. I can't take any of the credit. This is my mom's plant
Okay,
collection. Part of it. It gets crazy in here. They're everywhere. Um,
okay, okay.
her,
Well,
her and my
you can
little
take some
brother.
credit.
Not really. I made it look pretty, but her and my little brother, kind of like everybody, I think during these times in quarantine, they got really into the plant life. And my grandma, she was big into gardening, so it kind of trickled down to my mom during this quarantine. So when did you discover that you kind of had the green thumb?
Yeah, it's so crazy, but our stories and I guess mine and your mom's, they mirror because my mother and her parents farmed and gardened their entire lives. And, growing up in what I consider to be the city in comparison to their country town, I ran from it for a long time. And it has been really during this quarantine season that I've really kind of had the space to maintain a routine and develop a stronger relationship with the plants. And so I, prior to that, I messed around with some substances, some legal and some not. But this season has really kind of set me up to lean into that in a real way. So to answer your question, I say like close to a year or something.
Nice. Yeah, I caught your interview with Claudia Jordan, and I saw when y'all started talking about your plants and how you talk to your plants. I don't think she really got it, but having a mom and grandma that is into the plant life, I know all about speaking life into your plants, and it's the same way how you want to speak life into yourself. You talk to them, you just show them some love every day, and I don't know if you've heard this little life hack, but if you name one of your plants after yourself and you talk to it every day, like, hey, Bertram, you look good today, Bertram. It's like you speaking life into yourself at the same time.
Uh, uh, I've got some really close friends who have done that. I have yet to name one of my plants after myself, but
Yeah.
you've inspired me today. I think I'll either do that for one of my existing babies, or I may even go out in celebration and find a new one, a new
Might as
baby bird.
well, right?
Yeah.
So you are from Memphis, right?
Born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. That's right.
We know that Katori Hall, the creator of P-Valley, is also from Memphis. Is it safe to say that the fictional city of Chucalissa, Mississippi, loosely mirrors Memphis?
You know, I think the short answer is yes. But Memphis sits in, what folks call the tri-state area. So it is at the corner of Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas. And so to drill down a little further, I think Chucalissa is a marriage between those three regions. You know, it's out, like you mentioned, it's set in this fictional Mississippi town, and there's reference to Memphis, but there is a certain just kind of overarching Delta influence that permeates through the show. And so we couldn't claim Memphis entirely for P-Valley, but definite Memphis influences.
So what are some of the cultural similarities that you see between the two cities?
Yeah, well, I think strip club culture is a huge one. And the depiction of strip club culture, because it's not the one that we've come to know in the late 2000s in Atlanta and Houston. Like, there's a specific strip club culture in the Delta that is rich in history, but different, you know? And so I think it mirrors in that way. I think another through line that really sticks out is the relationship between like church and community. And we saw that lifted up with the character Patrice Woodbine, who was a pastor and mother to Mercedes, and how even those two lifestyles, again, like, are so similar, but so different at the same time. And so church culture is another one that I think is like really true, that really rings true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I had to throw a last one in there, I'd say hip hop culture. So we saw, you know, Lil Murda's ascent in just a few episodes to the crown trap prince of Chucalissa.
The come up.
Yeah, and we saw that the hip hop culture kind of be lifted up, and that's something that, you know, I can relate to, having grown up in and around it, and knowing that there's a certain way that the South has trained up artists to pursue careers because we are not so close in proximity to the industry, so to speak, and so that independent artists hustle it up energy is consistent with, you know, Memphis and the surrounding areas too.
Right. Yeah, I went to college in Orangeburg, South Carolina. So I definitely got a little taste of, because I'm from Florida, so we in the South, but we're not really Southern. We have our own kind of culture out here.
Different for sure.
Going to school in South Carolina, like, I definitely saw some of the same things, especially in the strip club. Different. It's different. So I wanted to do this in the beginning of this interview, but we can go ahead and, I see you already beat me to it. Okay. I wanted to, let's toast to Memphis, let's toast to Chucalissa and P-Valley.
Yeah. Cheers.
What you sipping on over there?
You know, my buddy just came through. We had a meeting, and this man walked in with a big bottle of Remy, and I was like, "Why not?"
I like Remy. I can deal with Remy. I'm mostly drinking whiskey, and I'm gonna probably go for the Crown.
I hear that.
I used to be big on Hennessy.
Mm-hmm.
Still haven't tried Douce.
I have. I can get with the Douce. What's your whiskey though? If you're drinking whiskey.
Crown.
Okay, gotcha.
Oil, if not some Jack Daniels.
Yeah. Okay.
I know a lot of my friends like Jameson.
Yeah, I know a lot of those folks too. Those are the real drinkers.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so back to Memphis. Brandy Evans, the actress who plays Mercedes in the show, is also from Memphis, right?
Yeah, that's
Did
right.
you know her before P-Valley?
It's so funny because I knew of her. In addition to her being phenomenal, the actress that we've come to know, she's been a dancer and dance coach for years. And so in the city, she has been queen of dance for forever. But we have another connection in that we both went to the same college, the University of Memphis, and she pledged at the U of M Delta Sigma Theta, and I pledged Omega Psi Phi. And so our fraternity and sorority chapters were like sister and brother chapters. And so I knew of her legend that way as well. But it was on set that we actually connected for the first time.
That's dope. Okay, shout out to the good bros. That's lit.
All right.
Working under Katori Hall, you guys know each other from Memphis as well. So y'all kind of started together in theater and are now experiencing this kind of glow up together. Talk about that. What has that been like?
Yeah, again, Katori is somebody that I've admired from afar for a while. She has been trailblazing in the theater world, having written award-winning plays, sent plays up to Broadway, and really having like served as a beacon of like hope for creatives in Memphis and of course everywhere else, but specifically here. And so when we were able to sync up on this project, it felt like you could imagine like being able to go and spend some time with your hero. And so she has been throughout this entire process like an actual queen, one that is accessible, obviously like knowledgeable and super talented. And to walk through this chapter alongside her and in support of her, it's been really fulfilling. It's been affirming in ways, again, as a creative, that like I can't really put words to, because, and I'm sure you can relate it, it's tough trying to chart a course doing something that is outside of the norm, right? And so to be able to do it in step with somebody who is really like a proven success and so graceful, yeah, it has meant the world to me. I guess on the creative front, like after the show is up and we are seeing the response, like the nerd in me now is like I'm bothering her often, like, yo, so what do I need to do to tighten up? How can I,
do the same thing.
yeah, like how do I step my game up? And so even still, like she has been like super helpful, super responsive in that space too. And so whatever comes of me after this chapter, like I owe it to her.
That's so dope. That's so dope. Shout out to Katori, just making a whole new like lane. We're gonna talk about P-Valley later, but this is something that I don't think we've ever seen before on TV. You started your acting career in theater. What would you say is the biggest difference between being on stage and being on screen?
I think it's the energy. Being on stage, like beyond the technical differences, of course, there's no start and stop, no cut on stage. I had trained myself to feed off of the audience. And, obviously, while there are people around when you are on a set doing something with TV or film, they are working and they are not, sending you bright eyes and smiles or, tears. And, I think for me as an actor, on stage, you can become not only accustomed, but almost addicted to that. Like the response is trying to gauge the room, looking for the gas, you know what I mean? And you don't get none of that on TV. And so I think, that was a huge difference, trying to kind of deliver with that same conviction, the same, like I said, energy, without that live, that real time barometer, and then two, I guess for me, because this was a new experience, there was a real learning curve, like not only as it relates to the process, so, from scene to scene and, shooting multiple times to get the right thing. There was also like this, it's unspoken pressure almost, because it's really time sensitive. Like, it's super cliche, but time is money, and so there's not a whole lot of room for you to fuck up, you know. And while it's unspoken, that is felt, and so that is that was a welcomed change. I say that I love it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it with my whole heart.
Pressure builds diamonds. You got it.
You say what now?
The pressure makes diamonds. You got it.
Yeah. They threw me in the fire and I came out clean.
All right. So let's talk about Woddy.
Yeah.
So when I was watching the show, I'm going to tell you later what kind of drew me into Woddy, but I was drawn in, and then I had to go look you up, and I got to tip my hat to you because, you know, these are clearly two different people, Bertram and Woddy. I mean, obviously that's what acting is, but it's like, you know, you can really see even from your like demeanor, your style, like Woddy is not Bertram, yet I can tell that you have a connection to Woddy, like, you know what I mean? We all know a Woddy. We all know a Lil Murda, you know, especially me, like, I'm really familiar with the indie music scene. So we know Woddies, we know Lil Murdas. Who is Woddy?
Yeah. I would say that Wodie, a couple things are important. So he comes from a family of entrepreneurs, having grown up in the funeral home. And so, you know, in Florida, are there Black funeral home families? Do you know this dynamic, folks who?
I think so. I think so, because I feel like a lot of funerals I've been to are probably all Black funeral homes. So yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that is really like key information, because there's a kind of latent class dynamic there, having like grown up in a family of entrepreneurs, but also trying to maintain this hood mystique, which I feel like a lot of Black folks can relate to, existing between different worlds, so to speak. And so I think Wodie is doing that, having, developed a strong bond with Lil Murda. I feel speaks to his capacity for loyalty. I consider Wodie to be like a really introspective dude, like somebody who probably journals and may be the only one of his homeboys that journals. You know what I mean?
Right.
And what I'm excited to explore more of him, because we know this to be true with just like humans, is that like I feel some kind of like a dark side, and I don't know how it shows up, but Wodie has some demons too, I feel, and I'm excited to see how they like manifest. Yeah.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's somewhat of a story there to tell with Wodie. I can't wait to dive a little bit deeper. Who would you say is your favorite character on the show? And who's your least favorite?
Favorite or least favorite?
Give me both.
Well, I couldn't have a least favorite. There's no least favorite. I love everybody.
All right.
Favorite, favorite, hands down, Uncle Clifford. And for so many reasons, I did a talk a couple of days ago around just how he shows up. How she shows up in the masculine and feminine, and is really able to show love to so many folks and provide a service and space for so many different types of people. Is almost godlike. And I go so far as to say that it rings true, because the actor Nico Anand gives off the same vibe. Like, when if you ever spend some time with that brother, like, you'll know that he is channeling something really special, and like we see that come through in Uncle Clifford. But Uncle Clifford, she is so funny. Like little quips like run that back Emmett Till. I mean, no, run that back Emmett Smith. Just so many beautifully written like little jokes and moments of sarcasm on top of being able to really like command a room and influence people in a way that, you know, was necessary to keep the pink alive in the show. For those reasons, like I adore Uncle Clifford. She is the most gangster.
Definitely life of the show, for real.
Yeah, facts.
So you and I bonded. We bonded over TV. Now I'm gonna quiz you. What show did we bond over?
Mm. Oh, Lovecraft Country.
Yeah. So we know that you watch Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
Binge watching TV is like, you know, probably top 3 things that we're all doing during this quarantine. So what else are you watching?
Wow. Sheesh. I'm ashamed to say, like with P-Valley being off, like I'm watching Lovecraft, and what I'm excited to do is go back and catch some shows of some of my people, some of my comrades in P-Valley. I've been looking into like the haves and have-nots that my boy Tyler Lepley is in. And
yeah, you got actor friends now, so you got to get caught up on all of their
I gotta be in the know.
Right.
So,
me, I'm watching Girlfriends, and the thing about me is I can't really be watching too many things at once. So it's Girlfriends, Lovecraft Country is still on, and when P-Valley was on, I was watching that. But like, you know, they have all these Black shows coming out on Netflix now, and The Parkers is on now, but I can't even start that because I just gotta finish Girlfriends. Like every day is like the thing. I just gotta watch some Girlfriends.
I hear that. I've been you know what? When Girlfriends was on originally, I was tapped in, but this reboot, I've been kind of in the room a few times, and I love it. I love Tracy Ellis Ross. I think we all do. So I could say that I've been watching that. But of the reboots, I think I'd be most excited to see the Parkers. Like I can't wait to see. Yeah. Was she Monique on there and Mr. Oglesby and all of that?
Yeah, Professor Oglesby.
Professor, yeah.
I think she was Monique on the show. What was her name? I'm having a brain fart.
Yeah, Kim Mama. Kim called her Mama.
Yeah, I guess she was Monique. Nikki Parker. Monique, yeah.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
Good one. That's a good one. I'm going to watch it eventually.
Right.
Binge watching TV is one thing that we're doing during quarantine. What else have you been spending your time doing since, you know, we can't be moving around as much? Like, are you still just working, or what are some other things that are taking up your time these days?
Health and wellness, drinking water, like in addition to really lining up with my plant care regimen. Like I just been taking care of my body. Like,
it's great that we get like time to even realize that that's something that we really need to do, you know?
Yeah. Actually, I've been resting. Like I feel for the first time in my life, almost like I'd be looking forward to sleep, like and sleeping well. And yeah, I on the wellness side have been also like playing with I'm gonna grab something real quick. Messing with a lot of things like this. Like
the
soundboard, yeah. And so, you know, like exploring sound healing and really thinking about how, you know, we as people, Black people more specifically, owe it to ourselves in this season to really take care of ourselves and actively heal. and find and explore new ways to do that. And so that's been taking up a lot of my thought space. I've been reading. I'm reading Ta-Nehisi Coates' The Water Dancer right now. And so I'm stuck in that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just really like working to become more whole has been my focus for real.
What do you think you've learned the most during this time? Because I know it's just been like heavy on the self-reflection, just learning a lot about me, about life. What do you think? What kind of revelations have you been having?
I think I've become privy to a few recipes, like what it takes to do something or make it move or make it work. And I'm learning how simple things can be if you let them. With, for example, and again, these are things that the plants are teaching me, right? Like with a little bit of consistency and intention, you can flower. You can be the thing that you feel yourself like being called to become. And so, I guess another thing that has been deepening is like my faith, like faith in the power, like our power, innate power of manifestation, and attraction. If I didn't know before this season, like I know it now.
Right, because you got time to practice.
Time to practice and see the things through. And I think prior to this season, you know, we've seen things manifest or dreams come true or goals be reached, but not really had the time to not only appreciate, but really sit in them or honor them in a way. And so this season has really lended itself to that as well.
Nice. I love it. Yeah, I'm on the same wave kind of. And I think the stillness has helped everybody just realize like what's important, you know? The mind is very powerful. Whatever you think is what is. So you really gotta think about the stuff that you want, the stuff that you like about yourself, not about what you don't want, what you don't like, you know. Feel those feelings and let them pass and get back to what's real. Yeah, I love it.
I'm feeling compelled, I don't know why, but in this moment, because you and I haven't spent a whole lot of time together, but I get a really dynamic energy and kind of vibe from you. And I know too that you are one of the ones that are capable of doing whatever you want to do. And I'm excited to continue to see like you bloom as well.
You made me cry. Thank you. No, I appreciate that. Seriously, thank you. Yeah, I feel the same. Like, you know, it's just like minds, you know?
Yeah.
All right, so I got a quote for you. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Every wave ain't meant to be rode. Let me tell you, remember I said there was a couple of things that made Woddy stand out for me? When you said that, I was like, okay, all right, okay, I see this young man. He might know a little bit of something. He might be a real one. What does that mean for you? Every wave ain't meant to be rode. Like, has there ever been any opportunities that you turned down to stay true to yourself?
Absolutely. And I think that is the meaning of that phrase, or like what is behind that quote, and that like everything that comes to you may not be for you. And I think that when we consider like integrity, but not only integrity, but like listening to and trusting spirit, it'll help you discern every time. And we know it, like we call it the gut feeling, right? We knew it in our gut. I knew the job wasn't for me, or I knew this partner wasn't shit. You know what I mean? And I think that, yeah, that's what Wodie is getting at, that, you know, while the opportunity may be shiny, maybe perfect timing, you really have to pay attention to the red flags, and above that, like, know that the thing that will make you feel good and whole and complete and fulfilled will come, so you don't have to shortchange yourself.
Exactly.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you won't do as an actor? Is there anything that's just like a hard no? I know for me, if I ever dabble into acting, I'm not doing no scary movies, period. I don't care. I don't care what the check look like. Nope,
Right.
not doing a scary movie.
I feel it. When you think about a story and its potential impact on the viewer, if there was ever a story that stood to like harm people, especially people of color or oppressed people, what I mean by harm is like set us back in terms of our understanding of ourselves, I wouldn't do that shit.
Really?
What I also know that like actors have to navigate in terms of like do's and don'ts, it's like specific thing or things specific to a performance. Like I think an easy one is like for guys doing the same sex scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would never say what I wouldn't do, and
It's not hurting nobody else.
yeah, like if it's not, yeah, it depends on the mission or the purpose of the story.
Mm-hmm.
If and I think Little Murder is a perfect example, right? Because J. Alphonse Nicholson, my bro who plays the part, phenomenal, one of my favorite actors,
Yes.
point blank, period. You know, he is somebody who, like, I know as a heterosexual guy, dealt with some understandable challenges, but with the story this like full and this purpose given to us by Katori and the rest of the writers, that's something that you cannot dishonor. And so, you know, as long as the story is honorable, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for it. I'm gonna do my job.
You know, the first thing I thought about when you said that was that new Netflix film, Cuties,
Yeah.
which I didn't watch. Like, I really wanted to speak on it, but I didn't watch it, so I didn't feel like I could. But I knew enough from what I saw and read that it was like everybody involved just needs to know.
I
Not.
heard. So you know what? I think I might have tried to watch a few minutes and got distracted, but I saw the chatter a few days later, and it's like weird vibes with the young ladies, right?
Yeah.
Was it?
It's like they claim that the purpose is to bring awareness to like the sexualization of children and all that, but how are you doing that when you're depicting actual little girls being sexualized? Like these are real, actually little girls. Their
Yeah.
brains are not even fully done, you know what I mean? Like forming and to be put in those types of positions as children, they're not old enough to, you know what I mean, be able to differentiate real and not real, and that stuff is gonna sit on their psyche, and I'm just like, this stress me
I
out.
haven't seen it, but it sounds like it's potentially harmful,
Oh,
which is problematic.
it's terrible. Yeah. So
That's tough.
in the future, we know what you won't do. What kind of roles do you see yourself accepting in the future? What kind of roles would you like to take on?
Yeah. So there are a couple things. True. So I grew up an athlete, right? And would love to explore like live action slash action stuff. I don't know what that looks like, but
See that?
I,
See
I,
that?
Yeah, I'm here for that. I think I'm also, and this is lazy language, but I'm really here for some gangster shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm down to like,
Yeah.
you know, like get, you know, like tell some stories that deal with the, I don't know, underworld or whatever.
Play one of those Delta devoted niggas.
Yeah, yeah, right. I really don't care what it looks like. I just want to tell beautiful Black stories, like, and you know, stories that lift up families, stories that, um, you know, obviously, like, would afford me the opportunity to like show some range
Yeah.
as a performer, uh, and you know, it's actually Nico, who plays Uncle Clifford again, paid me a nice compliment. Um, and I'm not sure if any of this stuff was actually in the show, but like he kind of commented on my like cynicism / my like kind of comedic or not tempo. I think like I'm a deadpan comedian, and like so I wouldn't be mad at like playing some really dry comedic stuff, or exploring that rather.
I can see
Yeah,
that. I can see all of that. It's coming. It's on
yeah,
the way.
yeah. I'm ready too. I'm so ready.
Another thing that drew me into Wodie was your voice.
Mm.
I don't know if it was the Murder Night episode and the one before that. I was just like, who is this guy? Is he a rapper? Like, did I miss somebody? Who is this? Like, first of all, have you ever dabbled into rapping or anything like that?
No,
No
no.
poetry, spoken word? Like, you sound like on stage is like spitting.
No, I've been a host, and this is a whole nother life. But as a concert producer, like I've hosted a lot of concerts, but never rap for real.
What about voice acting? Is that something that you thought
Yeah,
about, would do?
100%, and am actively exploring that. Like right now, like you
Nice.
know, active conversations. Um, you
So
know,
somebody else
working.
has saw the same vision as me then.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, like shooting a television show like P-Valley, we have to go in and do a lot of what they call ADR, so recording our lines essentially. And so that process, during that process, I worked with a lot of engineers who were like, bro, you gotta tap in to the voice acting space. And
Yeah,
so,
might
yeah,
as well.
yeah, yeah.
All right, you're not a rapper, but we also bonded over music. I found out you're a Robert Glasper fan and found out that you were an Earth Gang fan. Shout out to Earth Gang. I'm name drop. Those are my friends.
For sure.
So, who else are you currently listening to?
There are a lot of folks that I like right now. So I guess I'll start regionally. Like, yeah, you know, we kind of bonded over glass, where he's my Michael Jordan of
Hey,
like musicians and art, you know, as it relates to the arts.
I
And
missed the chance to see him live in Atlanta. I used to live in Atlanta, and they have it's called something Jazz Midtown, some Midtown something. And I missed it, and I'll never forgive myself for it. And that's one thing I missed this whole quarantine thing. The thing I missed the most is going to concerts.
yeah, it sucks. But another person who you would really like to is Kenneth Whalen.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually from Memphis. He
Okay.
is a saxophonist and vocalist and contemporary of Glasper. Um, and so, yeah, that's somebody who's in heavy rotation.
Okay.
I've been listening to this brother, the guitarist. I'm going to botch his name. Mansour, Mansur, Mansur.
Okay.
He does a lot of instrumental stuff. I hope that's right.
We'll
It's
figure
close enough. Uh, but yeah, there's somebody else. So my partner is a vocalist. She's from Memphis. Her name is Taliba Safia. And if you ain't heard of her,
Yeah, I think you know, I was digging, I was doing my
okay,
research, everything like that. I saw them playing, and yeah, they're like,
she is somebody who is like really set to influence music in a real way. And so, you know, I've been kind of working and like serving her music journey for a long time now. And that's somebody that I'm consistently excited about. A lot of folks were liking her to like a hybrid, and it's a reach. It's a real, no, it's not a reach, but it's a strong statement.
mm-hmm.
A lot of folks say that she's like a hybrid of Nina and the B.
I could see that.
And
From the
so,
clip that I saw, I could see that.
yeah, and so that's somebody that I'm paying a lot of attention to.
One more kind of quarantine type question. I feel like some people watching maybe could benefit from this because winners like to emulate other winners. You know, I know what I do is I take the people whose careers I want to, you know, emulate, and I see what they do, their hobbies, their what's the word I'm looking for?
Practice.
Their what they practice, their
Yeah.
day-to-day, you know, activities and stuff. So what's your morning routine like? Do you wake up, turn some Glasper on, and you water your plants? And what do you do?
Yeah, that's it. So depending, so some nights they can go long. And so on a typical day, if I'm rested, I'm up around like the 8 or 9 o'clock hour. I haven't quite made it to that 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock
7,
club. Not yet, especially not during this season. Like, you know, it sounds good, but you know, around 8 or 9 o'clock, I'm rolling out of bed. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make some tea first. First things first. If it is Monday or Friday, I may roll me a J, just keeping it all the way funky with you. And I spend the first, you know, at least couple hours, hopefully, without screen time. So like I'm reading either like a script or, you know, in a book or something, trying to, you know, get my wheels turning, looking for some inspiration. And so, you know, after that piece of the routine, like you just mentioned, that's when I tune in with my plants. And so I'll water whoever is, you know, needs to be watered. And if not, like I'm outside. So I'm in Memphis. And so, and you've experienced this in Florida. So we have yards. And so like
that grass.
yeah, I'm messing around in the yard, taking care of some housing tasks, and then I'll eat a good lunch. And I'm typically working, like actually working, early afternoon. So like 1 to 5 is when I'm responding to emails and doing all of the shit that I've been putting off for the first half of the day. And so around 5 to 6, hopefully I'm checking out. And I typically save my workout stuff for that part of the day, like 5 or 6. So I'll ride my bike or go see my trainer. And then it's dinner and some trouble. Like I'm trying to balance out the day. I've been disciplined all day, and so after 6 or 7, trying to fuck around. Like what is I'm in the streets.
In the streets.
Not the actual streets, but in the streets. Yeah.
All right, so we just got a couple more questions. This has been really great. P-Valley is a very unique show. It tackles so many topics that we need to be talking about that we don't talk about enough, especially as Black people, sexuality, gender fluidity, um, colorism, domestic violence, just it's so much all in this one show. And it's centered around the strip club scene, which has its own, set of experiences like we talked about earlier. So what is your take on being a part of a show so groundbreaking?
I think that it's groundbreaking because we are centering like the quote unquote taboos. And like I was kind of jokingly a second ago referencing, I think that like we as a people have to learn to honor those parts of ourselves, the parts that we are most ashamed of, because they are actual parts of us. And so, P-Valley, I think the most interesting, again, taboo was the anesthesiologist that liked to see Miss Mississippi sleep. You know what I mean? I love the idea of somebody as weird, so to speak, as him having
Oh, that's
representation.
what that was. I totally
Yeah.
missed that.
This man he came in
I don't
in
know what he was. I thought he
scrubs.
wanted her to play dead or something.
No, he came in scrubs. He's an
Oh,
anesthesiologist.
okay.
That's his kink, watching her sleep. You saw him throw money while she was playing sleep. And
That's
so
crazy.
that something as like particular and nuanced as that, I think that like we have a chance with this show to like humanize that. And of course that's with within like we can't get too crazy. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say. Those can't, there's some things that are just straight up unacceptable. But I
Right.
think that there are like parts of
To
us
be able to
that
talk about the things that are not seen as normal, but are normal to some
the,
people.
the things that we are hiding, right? I like the idea of P-Valley like making it safe for people to stop feeling like they need to hide parts of themselves, and even parts that may need to be like changed, or
Right.
parts that people may need to evolve through, being able to have space to talk about them.
Right.
Right.
Because that's the start of
Healing.
changing it or anything.
Yeah.
To acknowledge it.
Yeah. Right. And so, yeah, I think that like P-Valley is setting us up to do that. And you know, I'm really excited to help push those conversations forward.
Nice. So I love it. So my final question, it wouldn't be right if I didn't kind of acknowledge the crazy times that we're in right now. There's so much going on. It's pandemics, it's police brutality, it's racism, it's this, it's that. So what do you do? Because I think we've all had at least one moment, probably more, during this quarantine and these times where we just feel like we're gonna lose it.
Yeah.
What do you do to bring yourself out of those moments and to, calm down and take it easy and remind yourself that it's okay?
It's funny. Even today, if I'm being 100, as the kids say, I find myself getting caught up in like some bouts with doubt. Like, man, are you capable? Should you keep going, etc. And what I'm learning is that the only way to fight the doubt is to do. Like, do the thing, make the contact, make the reach, finish the task that's on your dry erase board. Like there's really something powerful in the act of doing. And I think that really stands to like alleviate a lot of the pressures that we are sitting with and dealing with during the season. And so that's one thing. And on the flip side of like doing, and like, I want to say like, it's not doing just for the sake of doing, like not busying yourself with shit, but like we all know the steps. We know what we need to do to be who we want to be. And so doing those things is what I'm getting at. But on the flip side, it's being still. And we talked about it a bit before, but it looks like adequate and intentional rest. It looks like stillness and silence.
Meditation.
Is meditation? Is that what you? Yeah, 100%. I'm my baby again. Like this one right here, I just sit and without thought for what is coming throughout the rest of the day, what happened yesterday, or what I'm expecting to happen tomorrow. I can just sit in this moment, you know, and I found actual healing and stillness. And so I say those two things, like either do something or be really still, intentionally still. Yeah.
And it's that simple, really.
Yeah.
We complicate things, like you said, but it can be very simple.
Yeah, facts.
I appreciate you so much for sitting with me virtually.
I appreciate you.
And we look forward to what's next on the list. We look forward to another season of P-Valley and getting to know Woddy a little more, seeing what's going to happen with this 360 deal. Are they going to cut my friend out? Like, I need to know. I need to know what's going to happen.
Right. No, you better believe Woddy is not going down without a fight.
I could see that for sure. Thank you so much, Bertram. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope we get to chat again soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity, Ashley. And like I said before, I'm seeing great things in your future, so you keep on keeping on.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.